Okay, so let's go ahead and install Duck DNS. First thing we're going to do is go to Supervisor, Add-on Store, and Duck DNS, and install. As always, we can check the documentation to see what all we really need. There's a couple different things. So we're going to pause on this and then we're going to come back to it towards the end. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our router settings. For me, it's 172.16.01. For you, it might be 192.168 something, something, something. You can use network apps or Fing to find out what that is and get into this. Now this is different for everyone, of course. I'm using a Netgear router, but there's two things we want to do. We want to assign a static IP address to our Raspberry Pi. I don't think this is 100% necessary, but I think it just makes it a little bit easier on the back end. And the second thing we want to do is some port forwarding. So for me, I'm going to go to Advanced, Setup, Lan Setup, and I'm going to add a device. So address reservation, you can find the one here. It says Home Assistant 43, that's mine. And I'm going to hit on Add. This basically just means that this IP address is always going to be that IP address. Now I'm going to go Advanced and Port Forwarding. We're going to add a service, add custom service, and what's nice is it actually kind of shows me all the different devices, so I can select this one, Home Assistant. Service name, I'm just going to call it Home Assistant Duck DNS. Protocol is going to be TCP, and external port range is going to be 443, and then uncheck this, and internal is going to be 8123. And that's it. We're going to hit on Apply, and that's pretty much it. The next thing to do is to go to duckdns.org. So duckdns.org, and then you can sign in with any one of these accounts up here. I'm going to sign in with one of my Google accounts. Now you can see that I already have a couple things down here, and that's because I've used this before to test and show. But you get 5 free domains, and you can just name them whatever you want. So you'd go to this, your subdomain, and just name it whatever you want. Now you'll need to come up with a unique domain just across the board. So do something that's kind of unique to you so that there's a little chance of it being used somewhere else. So tech, mrtech, DNS, HA, and add domain. Now that that is done, you're going to have a token up here. Mine's blurred out because I don't want you having my token. So now that we have this, what you can do is now we're going to go back to Home Assistant. In Home Assistant, check documentation to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. And now we're going to copy the Duck DNS token and go to the configuration file. And we are going to paste it right here in our token. And under domains, we're going to copy this. So once you type in your token and your domains, click on Save. Once you've typed in your token and your domains, we can go back to the info and start Duck DNS. And we're almost done. We're going to go to File Editor. We're going to open up our configuration.yaml by just selecting it right here. And we're going to add this text. It's in the description below, but it is HTTP. We're going to type in our base URL, which is the full URL of basically the DNS redirect, the SSL certificate, where that is located, and where the SSL key is located. We'll hit on Save once that is typed in. And then we are going to go to Configuration and Server Controls and Restart. And we should see a little connection loss, reconnecting, and if we've done everything right, we should have to re-log in. Now it says connection loss, reconnecting, and if you notice, if we try and refresh this URL, homeassistant.local8123, it's probably not going to work, and that's because we've redirected it. So what we're going to do is take that URL, I can create a new tab, https // and then we're going to type in this, what we just created. It has to be HTTPS because we are using SSL as a secure connection. Enter, and boom, we can now log in with our credentials. And that's it. and that is Duck DNS installed and fully operational. This means that now you can access Home Assistant from anywhere in the world, from whatever network, by using this URL because it redirects.